Right, with me I've got Harry Watling after Ebbsfleet 1, Hartlepool 0. What was your take on that, Harry?
Difficult game, really difficult game. I thought both teams really pushed themselves and give everything. It was just fine margins today. Fine margin. There was a lot of chess going on between the two dugouts, which I've got to say I've really missed. Really missed being out of the game for nearly a year. I have to congratulate my players. I have to congratulate, and just want to put on record that this week's been amazing. But it started Tuesday night with the work that Josh Wright put in, taking himself out of the team, going into the dugout, sacrificing that. We should have won Tuesday as well. But look, do you know what? We've got 4 points from the week, so I'm really pleased.
You came into this game against a Hartlepool side who are in the playoff places, the Fleet, bottom of the table. You're still bottom, but you've got more points on the board. But the way the game played out, you wouldn't notice who was in the playoff places and who was at the bottom. It was a very even contest, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's important to say that, look, football's a lot of luck, a lot of fine margins. I know the work that went on before I got here, and I know it was good work. So let's get that straight. Danny Sell's a good man. So, the work that was going on here, I know it would have been meticulous, but sometimes the ball doesn't bounce for you. I've been there myself. Yeah, they're in the playoffs. I'm not going to look at the league table. I'm not going to look at the league table till March time. I just want to try and collate as many points as possible and be really level, grounded and steady. But again, I want to congratulate my players.
You talk about the bounce of the ball, the goal that you scored 5 minutes before half-time, a smile on your face just thinking about it. But the ball did kind of drop for you in a way, but it dropped for you because Rakesh Bingham showed his quality and his tenacity and his balance, didn't it?
Well, he's a wonderful football player. I'm here to get the best out of him, that's my job. I think everybody stood still when he picked it up because they was petrified of his ability to twist and turn. And for a big guy, he's got wonderful feet. And again, like you said, sometimes it's got to take a ricochet to go in, and listen, that's football.
You don't care how it goes in, do you, really?
I said to the boys midweek, look, if it goes in off your shin pad or we bend one in the top corner from 25 yards, they all count for one. The big thing is, again, we've kept a clean sheet. So that's 2 on the spin, clean sheets this week. So super pleased with that.
And the teams above you, they didn't win. A couple of them lost. So you've closed the gap anyway, and you keep that momentum going. You're going to be in a good place pretty soon. But today, the second half, it was all about game management, wasn't it? To just not let them in, but to see if you can nick another one.
Yeah, and it wasn't the plan to drop that deep. And it wasn't the plan to let Hartlepool have that much of the football, if I'm honest. It's our ball, it's our stadium, and we want to dictate things. But like I said at the top of the interview, I enjoyed the back and forth with Darren, who's a great guy. They changed shape a few times and so did we. I learned from that in terms of what my players are able to take on in terms of information and adaptability. And look, let's get this on record. We were patched up today. We had a lot of key players missing. So that's a real team performance. And I said to the guys a number of things, and a lot of it will be private, but the star here must be the team.
It's a team game. It's about the squad, isn't it? It's about the players you bring on to close the game out at the end of the fixture. It's not just about the 11 that start. But the players you mentioned that were injured, Dominic Polian, who was last season's leading goal scorer, Jim Kellerman, who was so good on Tuesday evening, were they both missing through injury?
Yeah, only slight ones. So we'll have them back hopefully at the back end of next week, going into the game against Sutton. So I'm really happy with where the squad is. I've told them I want them to put their feet up tomorrow and get through at least one Netflix box set. So there's no running around the house or anything like that. Just get rested and come back in Monday morning ready to go.
But it must be for you, being a new manager, you've only just come into the building, to have a whole week without a fixture until next Saturday when you go to Sutton. That must be exactly what you want, time to work with the players.
Absolutely, and I think you've just got to, listen, you've played the hand you dealt, so next week's a clear week. We have to make sure we manage the players' bodies correctly and recover in the right way. But yeah, really looking forward to going up to Sutton. Steve's a brilliant guy, was a fantastic player, good young manager, so they'll be super organised and very hard to beat.
Talk about a good young manager. Obviously, that's what you are now. Now that you've got the hot seat at Stonebridge Road. But when you were announced, some fans didn't know who you were. You're well known in the game, but on the terrace is not such a familiar name. But you've not got a playing history as such. I mean, you're not an ex-player that's gone into.
I've got a bad one. I've got a bad playing history.
Well, I've got one of those, but we don't talk about that. But But you went into coaching as a teenager, and you went to Chelsea, I think, when you were 19 as a coach. So what was it when you were in your adolescence that made you think, you know what, I'm going to get into coaching and that's going to be my pathway?
Yeah, I think if you can get the message across with clarity, that's the key to everything. So getting the message across with clarity, players understanding roles, responsibilities, being believable, being a good salesman at times, making players believe that anything is possible. And I felt that was a strength from a young age, being able to do that and get a message across. And I'm really fortunate for my pathway. Everyone's pathway is different. I don't have 500 games in terms of being a player, but I do have 6 old firms. I do have a couple of cup finals. I do have 60 games of management in the US. I have been top of the championship with QPR as a first team coach. So everybody has got different experiences rather than just having the word experience. And listen, I don't want to be at the forefront of what the punters are thinking and looking at. I want them to look at the team. I need the team to be the star, and today they definitely was.
But what was it when you were a teenager that made you think that is going to be I'm going to go into coaching?
I think it was a little bit of feedback from peers and people that I looked up to. Just said, look, you could be quite good at this if you knuckle down and you try and do the right things. And I think you just try and follow that pathway, don't you? If you think that you've got a chance in something and you're staying in the game of football, working at a place like Chelsea and Millwall and West Ham, and having the opportunity to manage as young as I did at 31, QPR, Rangers, etc. It's sort of just taken me to this point.
You talked about the team game. There's a management team as well. There's you and David Kerslake and John Cotton, and that combination is quite important, isn't it? Because you bring different things into the party.
Yes, it's key. It's key. It's like the team behind the team. Really lucky to have those guys and the other people as well in the background. Got a really good analysis department, excellent young goalkeeping coach, people that are behind the scenes that are really helping. All the staff here have been great this week. To have someone like Kers in your ear for advice, who has played the game at the very, very highest level, and by the way, got quite a few promotions as an assistant manager. I'm very lucky, and in John Cotton, he's a long-term friend, someone who I've worked with before in football, fantastic coach. So I'm really happy that I've got those guys with me. So
with the challenges that are going to be coming up, you feel you've got the tools to do the job?
We're going to try, definitely. We're going to try, and that's the plan. Football, again, is small margins. I don't want to get carried away. It's one game, it's 3 points, but let's see where it takes us.
Well, congratulations on your first win, your first game, and here's to the next one.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for talking to us. Cheers. Harry.